Hello there, Tristan Ogilvie here, packing down for a review commentary scrum with Nate Lawrence.
I like that. That's good.
I spent all of no seconds preparing that intro.
Unscripted.
Nate, you've just spent the past week or so reviewing Rugby 15.
I have.
Your review will be live on the site by the time people hear this commentary. We will get to the verdict a little bit later, but I guess before I let you take the wheel on this, we should say this is made, Rugby 15 is made by HB Studios, a Canadian studio, sports specialists, really. I mean, sporting game specialists.
They have a pretty long history of touching EA games.
Yes, and rugby included. They've worked on rugby games in the past, also cricket, golf, more recently the golf club this year. So they should. You would conceivably, you'd think they'd be able to make a good rugby game.
This is not their first foray into sports.
Right.
So you would, and certainly not into rugby, from what you've just said. So
exactly.
You would think that, they have it down pat.
They should have, got a handle on it by now. But apparently that's not the case.
It's a bit of a spoiler, but yes, it is.
Well, let's sort of set the tone early on. If I'm a rugby fan, which I'm not particularly, but let's say hypothetically I was, am I going to find a decent game of rugby here? No,
absolutely.
Okay, that's the end of the commentary.
As a rugby fan, you will absolutely not. It's really, really good in how it's set up. Very simplified controls. So rugby is a complicated game, right?
Yes.
It's got a lot of rules, especially if you're comparing rugby union to rugby league.
Yes.
There's a few more intricacies. You've got your line-outs, your rucks, your mauls, and a lot of tactical kicking play that you don't often see in rugby league. Well, you don't see the kicking, but you definitely don't see the other stuff.
Right.
So they've done a really good job of kind of simplifying that down to a few buttons.
So, I mean, is it kind of the NBA Jam of rugby games at heart?
I wish it had, flaming footballs and crazy...
And Bill Clinton?
Yeah, full-length field kicks and giant head mode, because then I would not have taken it as seriously as I did.
So when you say that they've boiled it down, is there an option to play with a more sort of simulated kind?
No. We're definitely at hardcore level, but in the options menu, you should be able to see... Oh, no, that's when you go into the game. Oh, no, there we go. Gameplay. So you can activate things like knock-ons and forward passing, which should be par for the course in a football game, let's be honest. As well as offsides, fatigue and injuries, but in my experience with the game, across dozens or scores of games even, I did not see fatigue come into play. There isn't actually a sprint button, unlike FIFA.
Right.
So it's just one speed, which seems to be applied to everybody, and you have kind of... how racing games sometimes have rubber banding mode?
Yes.
This has the opposite of that. So it's like it will push you away like a magnet, saying, "No, I'm ahead of you, and you will never catch up to me. I'm going to get this try."
How weird. So in terms of the fatigue, is that like do they have like a stamina bar or something?
No stamina bar.
Right. So you've got no indication of whether a player is tired. Right. Okay.
No. And visually. As you'll see later, it's not terribly appealing, which doesn't matter so much in terms of sort of an arcade football game.
And also, I mean, I think fans of sports such as rugby or cricket, for example, are used to sort of putting up with sort of perhaps subpar visuals.
So that didn't really bother me. We were chatting about Don Bradman cricket earlier, and that certainly wasn't the most beautiful game I've ever seen, but mechanically it was fantastic.
Yes.
So to come to this and to immediately get the feel that it is an arcade version of this game, that they're not trying to make a simulator, which I'm happy with because, I think it would be boring to be a simulator. I think the learning curve would be intense, especially for someone who had a casual interest in rugby union.
Okay.
And I think it would be inaccessible. So I'm glad that they went for the arcade sort of spin, but it just to have options to turn on fatigue and injuries, and to have not experienced any of those, even though I was playing tournament stuff. And if there was a sprint button, I would be holding it down all the time. That's how I play FIFA. It's just sprint.
Right.
Not that they have unlimited sprint, but you treat it as I'm going to sprint every time I get the ball, because how else am I going to get ahead of these guys?
Let's just hop out back to the sort of main menu. Get a look. We should point out that there's no licensing whatsoever in this.
Yep.
In this game, so no real players, no real teams, no real tournaments.
Well, we have...
Whoa, sorry, I've said too much.
You are correct in that. Okay, so there's a New Zealand team
that's
called
one?
New Zealand, but not the All Blacks. but
Right.
they wear all black.
Okay.
Just as the Wallabies wear their yellow jerseys, but they're not called the Wallabies, they're called Australia.
Right.
So zero licensing, but still noticeable the teams that you're working with, and you can go in
and edit.
Yeah, you can go
Right.
in the options, you can go to edit player, and you can, so as you can see here, go through all of the international teams or the local teams and change the names from these generic Ronnie Pie, who is not a player for New Zealand. And
Did you say Runny Pie?
Ronnie Pie? I'm
Oh,
not
Ronnie
sure.
Pie.
I'm not sure what kind of algorithm they ran these names through, but yeah, and then you can go through and sort of edit everything from name
Right.
to, height and positions and all that sort of stuff, preferred foot, weight.
I don't know if I could choose between my 2 feet, like as a preferred one. So, and I think you pointed this out before we were recording, but you can edit all these things, but you can't share these edits with, like, online as you can in, say, for example, Don Bradman.
No, I've confirmed that with the lovely local PR people as well, because I'm like, can
Right.
we share this? Because it seems a kind of a bit laborious rather, to go
Yeah.
through and edit player on a local level. So I've created my Wallabies team or my All Blacks team, and then I go to play at your place, and suddenly they're not there. It's the generic names.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's a missed opportunity.
I
think,
mean, personally speaking, I like to rely on the hard work of others wherever possible.
Don Bradman is the perfect example of that. I'm the same way.
Yeah, you just click that import best teams button or whatever it is, and all of a sudden you've got populated all the teams with all the real name players and stats and so forth. But not this game.
Not this game.
Okay, so that's another black mark against it. Maybe we should get into a match, do you think?
All right, well, let's have a look at just a friendly match to begin with. I'm going to let it pick whomever it wants. Actually, I'm going to pick the inferior team, as you'll notice with the stats, just to show you. I'm going to throw it on hard. Let's put ourselves on the spot. Leave the half length at 5 minutes. You happy with that?
I am very happy.
Time of day, because at night time we get to see light and some sort of immovable shadow effects.
Okay, cool.
Conditions, let's make it rain. And let's have strong
Are we
winds.
in a strip club now?
There are going to be dollars everywhere.
Make it rain.
Okay, no tie break, because we won't need that. So, I'm not going to change my squad.
How do you know you won't need a tie break?
Well, all right. Let's throw in
Just in case.
extra time in sudden death or sudden death.
I don't know. You choose.
Let's go sudden death.
Okay, sweet.
That looks like fun.
All right. So, and here's a nice stock image of
This
a bunch
is
of
your only loading screen.
male backsides. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Nobody's. We can't show their faces because
They're not licensed players.
we license
And
their
if you saw
butts,
them,
but not their faces.
Yeah, that's it. You may take our butts, but not our faces. All right, so here we go. The first time you play the game, you will get the tutorial.
This
as
is
it's
it?
called. This is one of 10 static screens that will talk you through doing stuff. Now, while I think that that's a terrible way to teach somebody any game mechanic, it does show, as you'll see as I skip through these screens, that it's very kind of simple in terms of how it's set up. So right trigger is basically the only thing you need to know in terms of passing. There is the right bumper, which will do a sneakier pass, but right trigger, for all intents and purposes, is the main one. Kicking, don't really need to worry about that too much, to be honest. Because I'll show you why later.
Wait, what? Okay, yeah.
I'll show you. And then, as we go through these other screens, it looks kind of like complex, but when you get into the game, you're going to get prompts whenever you get into situations like lineouts and rucks and mauls that will talk you through exactly what you need to be doing at that time to make it work. And there's the goal kicking option. Advanced moves. These are fun. I will try to do these. And you will see them fail miserably. I'll call out when I do them because the game they're kicking off.
Oh, so is this the side-on camera view? Is that what you prefer, or? Yeah,
side-on is what I prefer. So I've got to hit the right trigger to release and then get that little meter into the sweet spot to sort of get the ball back into my possession. I've got an option to kick, run, or pass here, but I'm going to just kick it. So I'm going to he's going to penalise me for not using it. All right, so we're in a scrum. Where is this? The bottom left, you'll see that they have the commands of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
No matter how much I hook, nothing will happen, nothing will change.
Yeah, right.
So that's the AI tackling like a boss, and I will steal possession, which in a rugby union game, if you've ever watched, is incredibly difficult to do. I just did that in a second. This is on hard difficulty for those watching at home. And I'm going to kick it. Why won't you kick it? He doesn't want to kick it.
Uh-oh. This is...
This is not going so well.
But you said you wouldn't need to kick it.
Oh, no, this is... Okay, sorry. I've led you astray. In terms of kicking I was talking about, that's kicking when you have the ball. So
I understand.
I will show you the problem of that in a moment, because whenever you get the ball...
Whoa, this is
I'm going to just
wonky...
do matrix pass. Oh, matrix jumps, rather. I'm going to get possession. I'm going to kick it, but the buttons aren't working.
So we should just point out we just had a slight technical difficulty with the control pad. We're playing the PC version here, but we're back in it. So sorry, Nate. I'll let you resume what you were talking about.
So what I just did there was what I try not to do, which is to kick to them on the full when they're behind the 22-meter line, because that means they get to mark it and it slows down the rate of play a lot. Oh, here we go. Oh no, they've turned around. When I was playing it on all other platforms, they run backwards if a line out is missed. Yep.
Like moonwalk.
There's definitely a whole lot of moonwalking. All right, chasing the ball. It's gone out, so we're going to have a line out. They're going to feed it. All I can do here is jump and try to time it right. And I have.
Nailed it.
Yep. So I'm going to feed along the line. Notice the terrible passing, and I tried to pass there, but the game determined that...
Wait, what just happened?
Okay, what happened is if you don't hit right trigger to release straight away, the buttons stop working if you're attempting to use the meter system with the right stick.
Okay.
So this is the meter system happening right now.
Yeah. So wait, so it stops working, so you can't do anything
You have
at
to
all?
press it 3 or 4 times for it to register.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun.
Oh, has he gone for a drop? No, he's just kicked it out on the full. So
Why
to win...
did that happen?
Okay, well, this is rugby stuff, so that's fine. But just to win a line out, it's left trigger, right trigger, and basically guaranteed instant win. And feed it along the line. Oh, no, he's just passed it to him, and as you can see through the not-so-great animations, it kind of just floated there and teleported to his hands.
The ball physics and the player animations are pretty poor.
So I'm going to chase this up. There's no way for me to sprint, putting any real effort to do that, even if it's only... 10 meters away. I'm going to take back possession. And my tactic, which works pretty much every time, is to just kick it.
No, that blew up in your face.
That's all right. So I'm going to kick now, like I said I wouldn't. Where'd that go? Oh, it's gone over there. That was a nice forward pass. Passing along.
Is it somewhat problematic when you're playing from this side-on view that when you kick a high ball, it goes off the screen?
Oh, absolutely. There's no way...
Like the camera doesn't automatically zoom out or anything like that?
No. See that? You saw that guy, the opposing enemy player. Too many first-person shooters. The opposing player was completely offside. They've actually called it for once, which is nice, but he was running around on the wrong side of the yellow line.
Right.
Now I can goal kick, I can punt, I can scrum, or I can run. Let's run. Let's go for 7 points.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so do a little kick, and I'm going to try and feed it up the line, but they just pass. It's really unpredictable, and that was me trying to do a guided pass. You would have seen before. He passed it.
It's okay. You got the ball back instantly, so.
Although I don't care if they get the ball because I'm going to win this. This ruck every time.
It does seem very easy to get it back.
And this is on hard difficulty. All the difficulty changes is that the meter goes down faster on their side, so they have a chance to get it quicker.
Right. Okay.
So my guy's taking him over the side. Nice. Very nice. And then left trigger, right trigger to win the line out.
So, I mean, it seems... Whoa.
That was forward, right?
Yeah. Oh, line ball. It's a line ball. So, I would say, obviously playing against the AI seems pretty bad. How does it compare when you're actually playing multiplayer? Is there any fun to be had there? Surely there's a bit more fun.
As I've mentioned, I mentioned that it's a sort of a throwaway line at the bottom of my review. If you do have the opportunity to play sort of couch co-op or competitive, you can force it to go around a lot of the problems that you have because you're not dealing with the AI. And the AI is probably the biggest problem.
But even so, I guess if you're playing multiplayer, you're still putting up with terrible passes and weird physics and
predetermined
canned animations and
So I'm going to do my kick tactic again. Oh no, he's going to run with it, so I can pass it even though they've grabbed me. It doesn't matter. It's passed to him, and I don't care because if I don't get him,
you've stopped caring.
No, but well, here we go. They're going to go a kick for goal, and that will be the end of the first half. So I'm not doing too well, having backed myself to win. So here's...
Aren't you glad I suggested you turned on the tiebreakers? Because it could come down.
It could come down.
Yeah.
If I get 2 penalty goals, and yeah. So this is a kickoff, and one of the tactics in the real game is to try and kick it just 10 metres, because that's the minimum the distance the ball has to travel for it to be a legal kickoff.
Right.
And then you run your team up behind it and you try to take possession. Now, it's a risk-reward thing, because if you don't kick it 10 metres, they get it, and you've basically just given them 3 metres, and that's silly. So what I try to do is I try to do that tactic here, but once I kick, my kicker stands on the spot for at least a second, so it's best to change players, but I, for the life of me, cannot ever get there fast enough. I can do the tackle and then instantly take possession, which is just sort of how this game works.
Yep.
And then we go the box kick again, try to get behind the defences. Oh, and that was within the 22-metre line, so they get a kick out. I found it really difficult to... Oh, you're going to kick it. And there we go, we've lost sight of the ball.
Yeah, I find that really... obviously, I'm not playing at the moment. You're playing, but I found no, I don't want to. I'll pass. Thank you. Thanks for offering. But I find that really, disorientating when the ball just disappears.
Yep.
You can't even really see a shadow of the ball or anything, or any kind of indicator where it is off screen or anything like that. That seems pretty poor to me.
See, that was supposed to be a pass to the guy out wide.
Yeah.
Which is, if you hold the stick and give a pass order, it's supposed to intuitively pass it that way.
You hold the stick, you hold it towards the player that you want to... Yeah,
and you would have seen there, apart from the fact that was incredibly forward and there is no penalty in effect
what's
right now.
going on, ref?
Because forward passes have not been once called in my time with this game.
Like never?
Nope. See, and that should be advantage right now because that was incredibly forward.
Yep.
And it's not. I'm going to take the ball back. So there was just...
So fundamentally, this is not rugby.
No. I really enjoy the kind of the fast pace and the arcade approach, but they just stand around waiting. So we'll see if I can screw this up and see if we can make them run backwards. No, they turned around. So, yeah.
Maybe the PC version doesn't support
Maybe they've
running.
patched it.
Yeah.
But it just... So that was just a pass to no one. Oh, sidestep. Doing all the sidesteps. And sometimes it works. And when it does, in those rare little moments where you say, you know what, I'm going to sidestep around this guy, and it actually does the animation, it's great. Like, it's good fun. But that lasts for about 3 seconds until the next tackle, and then something ridiculous happens, like...
Oh, here we go. Nice. Wait, what?
I've been tackled over the line. It's not held up. It's not a try, and they have possession back.
What just happened? Did you not just fall over the line?
So they've... Yes.
Is there any... I've noticed that there hasn't been any kind of instant replays or anything.
Oh, that's a great point. There is no instant replays.
So presentation seems pretty light. I mean, you mentioned, I think it was before we started recording, but you mentioned that commentary is one of the few semi-highlights.
It's great because it's actually quite diverse and it's quite reactive to what you're doing until it hits a point about 10% of the time where they say completely the wrong thing.
Right, I guess.
I saw a goal kick perfectly down the middle and they're like, oh no, it's gone off the bars. I'm like, no, it actually went through and they got points from it.
Right. So maybe maybe at those occasions they're watching like a better game of rugby.
I'd like to think so. So I'm going to try to get the 7 points just keep attrition.
I still don't know why you didn't get a try before. And there was no way of... So there's not even like a manual replay?
No.
Wow.
Oh my God, where does he pass that to? And see how all of my AI teammates just ran the opposite way?
Yeah.
They were like, the ball's down, but we're going to run backwards.
Panic!
And that was an attempted pass that they just didn't do at all.
Seems crazy that here we are at the end of 2014 and you've got a sports game that doesn't have a replay. Either manual or automatic.
No, it's insane.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things that other games have shown, for generations that they know how to do, that this game's like, no, we're not going to do that. And you'll see...
Here we go.
Pass it. No, refuse to pass. So this is the tactic. To get within the 22-metre goal line, take an attrition tactic towards getting across the line, trying to pass it, honestly, as little as possible because they tend to screw up the passing.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a lottery.
And then, yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Oh. I'm actually getting into it now. You're so close.
I know.
How much time in the game? There's not much time in the game, Nate.
No, I know. But all I need is a converted try. So what I'm going to try to do is highlight.
You got to leave everything out there on the field.
Oh, getting closer. See, and as you'll notice from their defence, they've left a giant hole over
gaping
here, but no one there to really capitalise upon it.
Yeah, because
they don't move up. They stay dead until the ball's moving. So there's no one running up to do a sneaky, inside pass or anything like that. There's my sneaky inside pass.
That was sneaky.
But it's just, the AI is constantly fighting against you.
Yeah.
And that's friendly AI I'm talking about there. not the opposing AI, which of course you want.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, just let me through. And that's the thing, like, it will, whether I'm trying to do sidesteps or not, it will just eventually determine that, oh, you know what, he's through. And that'll be that. Like, my guy will automatically do a sidestep. Oh, I'm going to lose possession.
On the edge of my seat.
So that was a really long played advantage. I don't know if you noticed that. I got possession back then. So,
oh, wow.
As far as I'm aware, advantage lasts forever. Unless you kick it. In which case, you lose it. So they've got the ball now. And unless they're going to kick it, which they are...
You're staring down the barrel of defeat here.
I'm not even phased. You can see. Oh, no, they've got it.
Well, that was a weird... Pass it to himself.
He did.
Interesting strategy. Himself. Ballsy. Doesn't matter. You got it back.
All right. I'm going to have to run with it. Just because of the clock. And there's no one at all on the outside, so I can't pass towards the gap.
Yeah.
I just tried to kick it then. The reason why I don't do... Well, they won. The reason why I don't do kicks at all is because as soon as you catch the ball, they heat-seek missile towards you, and you don't even have time to run the proper animation of a kick. So it 99% of the time will end in a knock-on.
Yeah, right.
The only way to do it is if you have passed it so far back that they're not anywhere near you, and everyone's standing around static, so you can't even press a button to set up a play to say, I'm going to kick this, drop back a bit. It's a little bit clunky.
We should wrap this up very quickly. So what's your kind of final thought? I mean, obviously we can tell by this stage that you don't like it much. Any closing comments before we mention the score?
It's just a really, really disappointing game. I think that's the best word to describe it, because I think I went in with kind of the expectations that it would be decent. Mm-hmm. Not that it would be amazing or anything like that. I was excited to see the sort of FIFA-like isometric view as opposed to a third-person over-the-shoulder semi-style approach. It was more skewed towards this arcade pick-up and play. I love the idea of the simplified control schemes where you're really only using 2 or 3 buttons. Yep. But then...
That seems too simplified, right?
No, it works. Except for a few instances where they do double-ups on balls for contextual situations, like a kick for distance becomes a drop goal when you get close enough. They didn't need to do that. Right. They could have just used another button because they're not using a lot of the buttons. But yeah, it just hits a point where every time you try to do something, or every time the game does something remotely well, where you set up a tactic or you do a sneaky little pass and it satisfies you, a guy will teleport off a ruck and tackle you. Or you'll go to do that pass having opened up a gap because that's a tactic that you applied, and the game will determine, I'm sorry, you have been tackled. We haven't actually registered that tackle yet visually. So every time it does something right, it just does a whole lot wrong.
And And so let's, without further ado, what are you scoring this game?
2 out of 10.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That's a shame for rugby fans, because I mean, we've been playing the PC version here, but this is the first rugby game on PS4. Is it on Xbox One?
It is on Xbox One as well.
So, I mean, if you're a rugby fan and you only own a next-gen or current-gen, if you want to call it, or new-gen or whatever console, then that's kind of a shame. You don't really have many other options. So just to wrap up, we should point out that, games such as this don't have anywhere near the budget of an EA Sports or whatever, but they do still have a similar... cost to the consumer, so they should be measured accordingly, and this game is not good.
Not good. That's a nice way to put it.
Okay, very good. Well, not good. Anyways, Nate Lawrence, thank you very much for joining me for this commentary and for writing the review on Rugby 15.
Thanks for having me.
And for all things rugby and non-rugby, stick with IGN.